Start with the NFC matchup from Sunday where Aaron Donald leading the Rams in their traveling circus into the pirate ship to get some booty and a date with TB12 and the Buccaneers. I don't know if you watch. I assume you're listening to a sports talk radio show at a rather ungodly hour, so the chances are you probably did watch, but maybe not. So don't worry. We watched so you would not have to. Matthew Stafford, the much maligned Matthew Stafford, passing for 366 yards, a pair of touchdowns. He had no interceptions. He teamed up with Cooper Kupp, an amazing yin to the yang on the game-winning field goal drive that covered 63 yards in 42 seconds. And the Rams, who blew the lead, ended up sticking a dagger into the heart of what were the reigning Super Bowl champion Buccaneers, who are now going to Cancun on vacation after a failed comeback attempt by Tom Brady. And much more on that. The Rams now will be hosting the Niners, a beaten-up, broken Niner team in the NFC title game, with the winner headed to the Super Bowl in that same stadium, Super Bowl 56 at SoFi Stadium in the hood in Inglewood in Southern California. So there's a lot to unpack. Let's discuss the question. What happened to all of the chatter we've been hearing all year that Matthew Stafford can't win a playoff game? What happened to it? So my thoughts, you've got Mona, LL Cool J, that's old school, and truancy. And we're going to put all these things together, and we are going to make a tremendous victory dance is what we're going to make. So, listen, all season, I have been here. Now, who am I? I'm just a loser, but I've been hearing all the noise. I've been seeing all the amazing hot takes, the hot take army, who have been bombarding everyone. They have all the answers. They know exactly what's going to happen with Matthew Stafford. The Rams are frauds because of Stafford. Matthew Stafford's a bum. He's a bum, I was told. Can't play in the playoffs, these geniuses told me. And you know these people are. They have strangely been quiet for the most part. Who would have predicted that would be the case? Well, on cue, the undomesticated country bumpkins, just about this time, they go into hiding after a Ram performance. That's what you do, right? If you're a rube or a mark, as the carnies say, that's what you do. So what happened here? Now, being totally objective on Matthew Stafford, the verdict is in. We now have our answer. That Matthew Stafford has proven beyond a reasonable doubt in 2 playoff games that it was the village that was the problem, not the quarterback. All right? Capiche? The Lions had the wrong mix of players and coaches. Clearly, they've had the wrong mix of players and coaches for 50 years. But clearly, the standards not up to where the Rams are, the high standards. And that explains how Matthew Stafford was 0 for 3 in Honolulu Blue in the postseason. He's now played 2 playoff games, win-win. And Stafford is holding a brush, and he is painting the Mona Lisa in L.A. Now, what is my evidence? First of all, you got to go back to the Wayback Machine. Before you look ahead, you must look back. And Matthew Stafford, in those 3 postseason games in Detroit, had decent numbers. He passed for a fair amount of yards. He averaged 7.7 yards per attempt, had 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He also lost 2 fumbles. His passer rating in Lions playoff games was below 90. It was 87.8. A good passer rating is around 100 or above. So you zoom ahead now. You hit fast forward. You get to now, in the here and now. And Matthew Stafford, in 2 playoff games with the Rams, has 568 yards passing. He's averaging 10.3 yards per attempt, completing just a hair below 75% of his passes. So the numbers are up across the board. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he's had 2 rushing touchdowns and no fumbles. Passer rating of 131.4. Let me repeat that for those of you that are a little slow in the back of the room. Matthew Stafford has a passer rating in a Ram playoff environment. The ecosystem of the postseason, 131.4. Now, obviously, he got a big assist from Cooper Kupp. In the cup. What's in the cup? Now, that'd be a game-winning final drive as Kupp had 2 catches for 64 yards on that drive, zooming past the ill-begotten Buck secondary like they were telephone poles and continuing the immaculate season for Cooper Kupp. Unlikely he will ever match the rarefied air he's in right now, but he's going to ride this thing out. Now, part B of this. As for the Rams going from up 27-3 to tied at 27, how did this happen, many are asking? Well, easy peasy. In the words of LL Cool J, don't call it a comeback. This was a Shakespearean drama performed by the Keystone Cops. Tampa was dead in the water. Right? They were dead in the water. They were rendered feeble by the Rams in the beginning part of this game. The so-called comeback was not because of Tom Brady, hocus pocus. No. It was football malpractice. The Rams, anybody that knows football knows they were more talented than the Bucs. We tried to tell you last week. You didn't listen. But the Rams had the better players. They got sloppy, right? And they were better in this game. The Rams, they were the ones that were the alpha. They were the ones controlling the game for 75% of it. It's kind of like, though, late in the game, they put lubricants on the Duke, the Duke, and Cam Akers. Holy cannoli, 2 fumbles for Cam Akers. My God. Matt Gay missed a 47-yard field goal, came up short with 6:36 left. That would have been big. Cooper Kupp also had a fumble. The Rams center, some guy named Brian Allen, generic center in the NFL, snapped the ball over the head of Matthew Stafford. It was like football bloopers and practical jokes, football follies over the head of Stafford. Now, as for the trolls, I would like to address you. You know who you are. You think you got to me. You did not. I was able to avoid the trolls. There's an amazing thing called airplane mode. I recommend it highly on your smartphone. It's a heck of a way to watch a game. And I blocked out all the noise. I hopped on airplane mode. I avoided Twitter and the losers and the scumbags and the just the bottom of the barrel who were doing their thing. Now, I also avoided the people that have my number in real life. Some of them were trying to get under my skin. And then when the game ended, it was on like Donkey Kong. I went over there and I enjoyed reading all the wrong takes, all the over hasty, hate-filled messages, all the people that had orgasms. They were a little aroused there because they thought the Rams were going to lose. I enjoyed all of it, and I'm honored. I'm flattered that watching an NFL playoff game that I'm in your head, that you want to send me an angry message, that you want to take a little punch. I'm happy at that. I'm happy at that. Now, the last word here. Does Tom Brady get a pass because of the Bucs' frantic comeback attempt? They passed for losing a home playoff game against Matthew Stafford. So I am shaking my head no. All right, don't be a Brady apologist. Don't be a Brady lapdog. Tom Brady, let me be very clear here. Let me spell it out for you. He was guilty of truancy for the balance of that game. In the first half, Brady took a ride on the Vomit Comet to start this game. He looked like he should retire. He had no touchdowns and interception in the first half. Passer rating below 50. Passer rating of 42.2 for Mr. Brady. He was averaging 5 yards per pass attempt. 112 yards passing. Now, it was second rate all the way. And even going to the fourth quarter, Bucs scored some points in the third quarter, but Brady had a 56.5 passer rating and was averaging 5.5 yards per attempt, which is...
I have no knowledge of anything.
That is not even a baseline quarterback. That's 75% of the game that Brady sucked. And let's not forget that is also part of the report card. You can't just judge Brady on the fourth quarter because we pointed out it really was nothing Brady did. It was merely the incompetence of Cam Akers and several other Ram players with brain farts. But you also had Brady flagged for his first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty because of his bosom buddy. Now, we talked about this last week if you were listening on a previous episode. Remember when we played the audio, Tom Brady braggadocious last week? He was bragging to Jim Gray, his BFF, his bosom buddy, about getting away with unsportsmanlike conduct penalties for talking smack to the referees when he doesn't get a call go his way. Well, it appears that Sean Hockley, the spawn of the famous Ed Hockley, Sean Hockley.
Who?
He's a referee. He was watching the clip. Brady got hit by Von Miller and determined, in Brady's opinion, it was roughing the passer because he had a bloody lip. Oh, poor Tom Brady, the patron saint of the NFL's got a bloody lip. God forbid. Well, the referees disagreed. And Sean Hockley, he said via a pool report after the game that he said, quote, Brady got in my face. He said but Brady got in my face in an aggressive manner and used abusive language, the language police. As for the hit, Hockley said, we did not think that it rose to the level of roughing the passer, close quote. Yeah, and I agree. It was not a roughing the passer penalty. As far as the Brady magic and the momentum, all of Uncle Mo, Uncle Mo lives in Brooklyn, but apparently Uncle Mo was in Tampa. If it wasn't for the generosity of the Rams giving the ball back and stumbling and bumbling, none of that happens. Tom Brady would have been blown out. L.A., as we said throughout this, was the better team. The Buccaneers, they turned 2 of the Ram fumbles into touchdowns, which fueled the road back to salvation, which just turned out to be ruination for the Bucs. And now, have the Rams ended Tom Brady's career? It's highly unlikely. Brady gave a vague answer. We actually have some audio here. Here's Tom Brady talking about what's next, and he tap danced around it.
I haven't put a lot of thought into it, so we'll just take it day by day and see where we're at. Truthfully, guys, I'm thinking about this game and not thinking about anything past 5 minutes from now.
Yeah, he's going to milk this. You're going to see all the insiders, saying this, that, and the other thing about Tom Brady. Is he going to come back or not? I say Brady comes back. He has said he wants to play till he's 45. He's this close. He put up monster regular season stats. I anticipate that he will end up coming back, but I also anticipate he's going to drag this out. And they'll be like, Gisele's trying to get him to retire. The tabloids will report that. Assuming the Bucs spend the Bucs to keep a good team together, why wouldn't they? And this is their glory days in Tampa. The NFC South is easy street. The Panthers blow. The Saints suck, even though they kicked the Tampa Bay tail. And you look around that division, the Falcons, come on, collective trash. So even if they go big, one of those teams in the offseason, it's again, unlikely that they will close the gap, if you know what I'm saying.